Good evening. I'm Mindy Pietz from Brady Martz. I'm a principal with the firm, and we performed the audit for the Park District for the 2025 fiscal year end. So I'm going to go over those results with you now. I forgot to. Okay, we'll first start with the overall objective of the audit. So when we perform the audit, we do have guidelines that we have to follow by our professional standards. The audit's designed to obtain reasonable but not absolute assurance that the financials are free of material misstatement. And then we also are not specifically looking for fraud. If we do become aware of fraud, we do test that, but we're not there to uncover every part of fraud that might exist in the organization. So our overall audit opinions on the 2025 financial statements, we expressed an unmodified opinion, which is the highest level of assurance we can provide, meaning the financials are fairly stated in accordance with GAAP. We also perform the audit in accordance with government auditing standards. That's required by North Dakota Century Code. So as part of that, we look at internal controls, and if we do become aware of any kind of deficiencies, we are required to note those in that report. We have no findings. It was an unmodified opinion. Overall, the Park District did a great job with their bookkeeping and overall financial operations. Next, looking at just some overall highlights for the 2025 year. You can see those listed on the screen. Capital assets increased significantly. The biggest increased 5 million. Overall total assets increased almost 7 million. And then net position or residual equity increased 9.7 million or 16%. The general fund had another healthy year, increasing fund balance by 1.36 million. And then overall debt decreased 2.4 million. So all trends in the right way, I would. Looking at the overall government-wide, so this is the government-wide full accrual, all the financials, all funds of the Park District. Significant changes. As I mentioned previously, assets increased by 5.1 million. A good chunk of that was for flood protection at Roosevelt Park with the Mouse River Enhanced Flood Protection Project that was going on. I think 5.2 million of that was an in-kind contribution. The city or the Park District recognized that as an asset because they're ultimately responsible for maintaining that. As I previously mentioned, liabilities decreased, and then the capital grants and contributions, that corresponds with that increase of the Mouse River project. Next, looking at overall total revenues. Total revenues for the Park District were just shy of $24 million. The biggest chunk of revenues is from property taxes. That represents about 48% or 11.3. That is in the purple. And then capital grants were 7.5 million green, and charges for services for recreational activities the Park District offers in blue were 3.6 million or about 5%. Next, looking at total expenses. Total expenses for the year were 14.2 million. The largest, obviously, park operations at about 11.3 million. Followed by recreation at 2.3 million, and then interest of about 650,000. Next, looking at the general fund balance. As I mentioned previously, the general fund balance did increase this last year. This slide is really just a historic trend that you want to monitor when you're preparing your budget to see where fund balance is for the general fund. Currently at December 31st, ending fund balance for the general fund was 6.9 million. That represents about 7.5 months of operating expenses for the Park District. So they could carry on with operations if no income was coming in for about 7.5 months. I think this is probably going to have a huge impact with the property tax cap going forward. And I think a lot of governments in North Dakota are going to see that number probably start dropping just with the cap and the limit on what you can levy for property. Next, looking at the budget to actual for the general fund. So the budgeted amounts are in blue, actual are in green. overall, it was a good budgeted year. Revenues came in just slightly over budget by about 279,000, and on the flip side, expenditures came under budget by 2. So, planning for the worst, hoping for the best. Next, looking at future debt payments. So these are the next 5 years of future debt payments the Park District has as of 12/31/25. Overall, it averages about $2 to $3 million. That would include principal and interest on what the Park District has currently for debt. And then the debt does go out to the year 24. Lastly, just going over some required communications that we are required to go over at completion of the audit. There are estimates that are included in the financial statements. We look at items as part of our testing. During the audit, we didn't have any unusual. We didn't become aware of any kind of unusual transactions, nor did we have any disagreements with management. There was one uncorrected misstatement, so one item that we found during our testing but was not corrected and adjusted and included in the audit, the audited financials. And overall, that was just an immaterial item. And then as part of the audit, we do request representations from management that they've given us full access to all the information we've requested and that everything's recorded properly in accordance with GAAP to their ability. And so they did provide us with those. And then we did issue a management letter for the audit. These are just some housekeeping items, recommendations. I believe a copy has been provided to you. If you have any questions, we can go over those. But that's all I have. My contact information is on the screen, so if anybody does have any follow-up questions, feel free to email or give me a call. And with that, I just want to thank Ellie and Ellen and Ella. I believe she helped a little bit this year, so we asked for quite a bit of information for the audit, and the staff is very responsive, very helpful, and gets us information in a timely manner. So I appreciate that.
Heard in here. Excellent. But Ellen, you were a big part of this. Right. Lester.
Yeah. That has went away. I believe I know it wasn't there last year because I went and looked at last year's. It might have been there 2 or 3, not 2 years, 2 or 3. Yeah. Right. Yep. I'd still highlight though the board plays an important role exercising just professional judgment and asking questions and being involved with the finances. It certainly does help deter any kind of fraud potentially happening. Thank you.
Ryan, next, but thank you. What goes?
It certainly wasn't me. Mr. President and Park Board members, Ryan Ackerman here on behalf of the Service River Joint Board. Give you an update on what flood protection is looking like at Roosevelt Park 2. As is customary, I'll just show our most recent. So again, we're traveling here from west to east. Flood wall work begins here at the end of this wall, and they are complete up to the 7th Street crossing. And then there's a gap between 7th Street going that you can see here. That gap will likely be later this week. Contractor's intent is for Central Avenue to be open through this opening and across 7th Street Bridge by fall. Next several weeks, get the road open back up. Central Avenue will still be closed from 7th Street, the entrance park. That'll be closed ultimately next spring while they finish up this. Coming into Roosevelt Park, temporary access road in place. Things seems to be holding up fairly well. See some recent progress on the pump station here. Walls have been tipped up. Framing has been rough. So contractors are working away on the interior of that pump station. One item I want to stop and talk about here a little. See, in the last meeting, we talked about some stockpiled materials that were in the vicinity, have been now installed. And the plan is for the contractor to get it up. We did get this temporary construction fence relocated park, tied in top of the levee here. Intent is to have the skate park open by mid. You'll notice the vegetation on the levees in the series. It's looking pretty scabby. We are getting closer to the heating window basically, so contractor will be spraying all this down, killing the weeds, and then basically about mid-September.
Can I ask a question on
Of course.
that? Sammy's Pizza. So like kitty corner from there. There's irrigation in that area. What's the decision where like we put sprinklers in or you guys put sprinklers in? I always kind of wondered that about the parks in general, like places that we have it or not. You know the spot I'm talking about?
And are you talking about the?
Yeah, well, so like that area, like just off of it. Like,
Um,
is it common when this stuff is going back in?
I would say in that case, that is owned by the city. That may have been one.
So they just request for it.
But in general, like through the park, add irrigation, place the irrigation. Add irrigation, something that was irrigated would be.
Yep, no, that's all cool. I was just curious what worked out.
So, in terms of flood wall construction that's ongoing here, I mean, flood wall is basically done. Contractors in the process of doing the final finishing and staining of the flood wall. You'll see a little bit of construction area. This thick frame structure is, and the foundation that contractors are getting moving on that part of vertical construction. This is the see. This is a fairly intricate excavation and foundation for the otter exhibit. Rolac Contracting is our contractor on that one. So construction is underway on the otter exhibit, and see the north back through. But the miniature railroad work substantially complete. We are working with the Magic City Express locomotive and cars relocated into the new. Through the zoo proper, work that's primarily gaining most African exhibit. So this excavation and foundation, this is the restroom, and of course you see the pier. Several different contracts, several different contractors execute. Express my gratitude. Parks team for their coordination that has to. We talked a few months ago about delays associated with the exhibit. We now have Matson Construction back in. We are implementing some of those structural pieces that needed to be done to keep this structure viable. You'll see this is a things just packed within. Matson is back on site. the most part, Wagner Construction, their work is really wound down. They don't have a large site. They're managing some of their sites. Ultimately, we have multiple black and syndic. This foundation that you see picture right here, this is the North American Cats exhibit in the south end of that work will obviously come into clear focus winter. The restroom for the pickleball courts, I mean, you'll see we have porta potties out here. That's because we're still waiting for natural gas service out into these. Not aware of any significant coordination plan. Mr. Chairman, probably what I have for you. Your question.
What would you done
At the end of 2027, I think we will be in the process of on. I think all the work in proper will do proper as it exists today. That'll be done. We're doing finishing touches on some of the exhibits. Intent would be to have that area stored by the fall. All of the different contracts that are out there. Everybody needs to do their part and to have everybody perform as their. Thus far, I think it's been a pretty good operation.
I guess I just want to say thanks. I was probably in a not so great mood at the beginning of spring, wondering how it was all going to work with the pool and getting it all open. And I think kind of touched on it. It seemed to go just wonderfully. So thanks for the work that went into all that stuff, because I know a lot of people enjoyed the pool this year. Maybe the one request is if any of your people can be certified lifeguards for the next couple of weeks, that would be great. But just thanks for doing everything you guys could to get the people in there where they could be. I know it was very much appreciated.
I appreciate it. At the end of the day, we're all working same people. The missions of or flood protect, same folks that will. Absolutely our responsibility to try and be good. Plus a tenant on your guys's.
move on to consent items?
Motion approval minutes.
Discussion? Favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Approval of bills in the amount of $590.
I'd move the bills for $190,805.
Hammer. Hammer. Olson.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Upton.
Salaries.
Make a motion.
Second.
Hammer.
Yeah.
Hammer. Olson.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Upton.
Carried.
I don't have anything to add. Take any questions? Yeah, the recommendations that we got in the management list, essentially to find somebody that can review bank recs that can, in my mind, something that makes sense. At least involved in it enough to for a good control. So trying to figure out what makes sense.
You have a bank.
We do, yeah. We could look at that. And then the other one is the IT stuff which we're looking into, and I think should be solved in 27. We might get that note.
Okay. That's good.
All right, Park Board President Commissioners, just a few updates to my submitted report. First one is you'll hear about it in a few other reports and pictures in the director's report at the end. Shields Complex play structure is underway. Our staff in the last couple of weeks been working on site prep work, and the installing company started installing playground equipment today and end of yesterday and today. The overall project from now till the end will be about 4 to 6 weeks. And it's looking pretty good. It was a big site, and it's nice to see some of the equipment going up. We'll have any more highlights in his report, but I know there'll be some site pictures in Ellie's director's report. Cameron Court liner project. Again, we had the special board meeting on Thursday to approve that. Sports Interiors was here today. Their representative, along with Jay Clevin with AE2S and myself, kind of walked through the facility. Just working on a few final items there. They're working on a schedule. I would hope within the next 7 to 10 days, they'll be on site to get that project started, with the goal to be substantially completed prior to West Region Tournament, first week or the 1st of October. So that's the plan. We'll talk more when we get the final schedule. But he didn't see any surprises when they walked the site again today to not make that date happen. So continue to work with that. We're working on an RFQ for architect, engineering, and planning services. That'll be open through the second week of September. And we'll get a panel together, review those, and bring something back to the board for a recommendation on qualified A&E firms for us to move forward with, to pick from for our future projects. Then the last thing I had, our Cameron Courts manager, Michael Janes, he'll be here at the end of this week. He'll start with us on Monday, the 24th. So forward to having him start. I'll answer any other questions that I didn't cover.
I talked to Coach Delorme, the special meeting when I was driving about the netting.
Yep.
That stuff hasn't been ordered yet, right?
No,
Like, is
Park
that-
Board President Commissioners, that has not been ordered. We talked about it today. You know, if for some reason, if we wouldn't be able to get something, we could take the court dividers that are up there currently and move them to that south wall for temporary.
I think it would be good to get all the parties involved. I always think of Scott first off, just because I know him the most, but looking at something that people can sit and watch. And so I make sure we're all on the same page before we do that. And I know we are going to be.
Yeah, again, we looked at it today and talked about that. I said, I don't know if it's 6 inches from the ground where you have the heavier part, so it doesn't.
Well, I'm going to lay down and watch.
Well, again, 6 inches, you should still be okay.
Good
But
point.
yeah, we'll be looking at that and picking colors here as soon as they get us their layout.
Those gun has rubber on.
Yeah, Park Board and President Commissioners, yeah, that'll have the pour in place rubber. So, Eric, what was the square footage of it? 5,000 square. Yeah, 27,000 square feet of pour in place rubber with the play structures. It'll be 3-sided with a 3-foot black vinyl fence. signage, and we're going to evaluate some of the pathways leading to it here yet this week to see what we might need to make the accessibility better starting next spring. So,
A lot of use. And cousins of kids. Thank you.
thank you.
Dr. Marketing?
I have nothing to add to my report. I will say that I did swing by Shields Complex today when they were doing that playground work. It looks great. You guys have been hard at work, but it's going to look fantastic when it's done. Answer any questions.
Of course.
We hosted the North Dakota police officers last week, and they had a blast. They loved the golf course. Cammy's crew got there about 4 in the morning to make sure the golf course was ready, and they loved it. Monday, we're hosting the Airstream outing. They're pretty excited, I think, about coming to service. And I wanted to thank Ashley and Bailey and the office staff for throwing the birthday party out at Service Valley. It was well attended, but it was a free lunch, so I think that might be why a lot of people showed up. So, and I think junior golf paid for it. I hope they did, or somebody did anyway. So, and I just have to thank my staff. They're always hear a lot of comments that we have a very friendly staff at Service Valley, which goes a long way for people wanting to come back. So, that's all I have.
And just thank you again for giving. Absolutely. Right, Logan, Sue?
I don't have a question, but just a comment. Someone reached out to me. I think there was a donation made to the zoo, and you did just a thank you card to this person. And so, it made the impression so much that they reached out to me to say they wanted to write a thank you card back to you for the thank you card you wrote. So it's probably a good reminder to all of us, me included, obviously, that those gestures go a long way. But thanks for doing that little stuff to reach out to people, and that's really cool. It was cool to hear. So.
Kind of Minneapolis. Minneapolis. Got a rent. Not for nicer. One of. Okay, thank you.
All right, just to add to my report, again, school starts tomorrow, so kids are all excited, but that also means the Mesa is now in winter season mode. So Brian started his fall program on Monday, and figure skaters start at 4:30 a.m. on Thursday. So we are ready to start our 7-month grind, but looking forward to it. Jared handed out our master calendar for the year. Just a couple highlights on that, just more for the viewers that might be watching online that don't have access to it or aren't here. September, like I said, we've got the men's sled team here, the national sled team, September 24th to 26th. Looking forward to that. Eric School will start working on the boards here next week or two, getting those ready before the pancake breakfast. And then thanks to Brian and the Hockey Boosters, Dan Brennan called me and they could not find a location for February for their monthly camp that they have with that team. So they are coming back West Region Hockey Weekend They don't need the Pepsi rink, they don't need the sled boards in, just need a facility and an ice rink. And between the hockey boosters and us, we were able to accommodate their needs, so they'll be coming twice. So Jared just asked that we get a banner or plaque for us being so hospitable to them. We are one of their main training camp sites. So I'll work with Dan and Coach Hoff on that and see if they do something cool for us. So that's exciting to have them not only once, but twice. NDHA, NPHL, Bantam High School will be coming back October 3rd or 4th. That's 10 teams. Kids around the state that come for that, so we're happy to host that again. Bailey's group is 3 movie skates again, October, November, December. We theme with Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. And those are heavily attended and good family events for our community and our region. Brian's Hockey Booster Group will have 6 tournaments, 2 in December, 3 in January, 1 in March, that bring Canadians and region area teams to Minot. And those are always busy and great things for our community. So we're looking forward to working with him on those events. Magic City Figure Skating Club has their annual testing weekend, February 4, 5, 6. They use play sheets, and again, skaters from all over the state and region coming to Minot for that, and that's a great event that we have every year with their club. We are the host of the West Region High School Boys Tournament, the 18th, 19th, 20th, and also the sled team will be here. So I don't have youth games, so that'll be a busy weekend with all different activities going on. And then if you haven't heard, the girls now also are going to have a region tournament. In that every year we'll have either girls in February for a region tournament. So they're in Mandan this year for girls since we have boys, but I'm hoping that'll be the schedule moving forward. The Hockey Boosters were awarded the state Bantam AA and A state tournaments, so to be a smaller tournament, but it'll be the top level of players for the Bantam level. So I think 10, 12 teams will be coming for that. So probably one of his smaller tournaments that he runs, but it'll be a competitive and talented tournament. That'll be February 26, 27, 28. And then the ice show is moving up one weekend because of Easter. So that'll be the March 19, 2021. And that's always a great event and heavily attended. So forward to that. I haven't heard what Barb's got planned, but it's always a great show no matter what theme they go with. 94 games between the Toros, Minot State men, women, and our 3 high school teams. So we have 90 with those higher level teams that'll be partaking at the Mesa and also All Seasons Arena. Brian will start youth scheduling here, his couple hundred youth games that he'll be doing. So, of course, that is teams from Canada and all around the state that come into town for that. And then the last couple, Minot State has their annual adult tournament with Easter. They're moving theirs back a week, so April 2nd through the 4th. They use all 3 rinks for that, and that's a good fundraiser for them in the hockey program. And then not on your calendar, if you have your pens, I'm sorry, I didn't want to waste any more paper or ink. But Avery with Prairie Grit got hold of Brian and I after I printed these already, and they are going to try and have their youth and adult sled tournament through Prairie Grit April 9, 10, 11. Toros are in town that weekend, so it'll be fun to have them here and give them something to do at night around their games. But hopefully they get enough teams, and we'll run that the 9th, 10th, and 11th April. That's kind of just a highlight of that big document that I gave you, but again, we are going to have plenty of people from outside of the Minot area that will use our facility for a variety of reasons, and all of our user groups are a big part of that, and looking forward to them. So other than that, if any questions you have, I can answer. That is all I have for this month.
David. Anything? Wow.
Yep, thank you.
Dana, Eric?
Hi. So yeah, big highlight for me on my report would be the Shields complex. Like Jared had stated, construction is underway. We've been working on that site for about 3 weeks now. We poured some concrete sidewalks, and we're doing concrete curbing all the way around the whole perimeter so that the rubber poured in place surfacing will butt right up to that concrete curbing. And then the fencing will be installed right on top of that. We are pouring another big section of curbing tomorrow morning. And yeah, the installers are there. They're putting things up. It's starting to come together. It's looking really good. So happy about that. And then as Bob said too, we're going to be installing sled boards here towards the end of the month. As soon as we get a little time and get ready for Team USA to come in and do their thing. So those are 2 of the bigger things we got going. Other than that, I'll answer any questions if you have any.
That poured concrete melted, I mean, rubber? How's that put in?
Good question. I do not know. I've never seen it, never had been involved with it. So I will have to be there when they install it and see. I would assume yes, it's a melted rubber and then they spray it. But I just don't know. Yeah, I'll report back when I know.
Get your camera out, record it.
Yeah, I should do that. Yep.
Dennis? Thank you.
Inside the building here, we are setting up for the Fjord Folk Fest that is this Friday and Saturday. And then outside, last weekend, we hosted the state women's Rec 2 and Rec 4 softball tournaments. And co-ed softball starts on Monday, the 24th.
Daily? Anything?
What do we charge people to go through the pumpkin walk? It's free?
Yeah.
Thanks.
What are the dates?
Hope for good weather and get another. Thank you. Now we'll move on to new business.
Yeah, so this was the agreement that we had actually brought to you guys back when we were putting the ballot measure together, the ordinance or the ballot language, the ordinance language. And this is just the final version of that for your guys' approval, and then it will go to the city council on September 8th. It's on their agenda.
Action.
We need you guys to approve it.
To vote
Yes.
it
Yes.
tonight?
Yep. Yep.
And then motion.
Correct.
Motion to approve. Will you be going, Ellie, to the city council
I will.
at that?
Yes. Yep.
Thank you for going.
Per camera.
Yeah.
Hammer. Olson.
Yes.
Schmidt. Yes. Upda.
Whole business. Other business. On to all permit.
I'll make a motion.
I'm gonna abstain, being that I asked for one and I don't want to approve my own drinking. So, won't vote.
Favor, aye. Motion. Next is
All right, well, I believe Callan has, or those, we can, okay, perfect. Jared and Eric both talked about this, and that makes sense because they've been doing a lot of the work to get this completed along with their crews. So here's just a few photos, and thank you to Ashley for going out and taking these today. If you guys have a chance to drive by, it definitely catches your eye, and I think we are all just very excited for the end result of it. So, as Jared stated, hoping end of September, beginning of October, this will be opened up to the public. Some visuals there, and then back to just a few other things on my report. I mentioned I will be at the September 8th City Council meeting because the Joint Powers Agreement is on there for the sales tax. I did want to let you guys know that I got an email this morning or late yesterday afternoon that the public land dedication second reading will be back on the agenda for September 8th. My recommendation to the board is I believe that we have done our due diligence. I believe that we've stated our case and where we stand on it. I do not have plans to make further comments unless directed by the board. So I would open that up to if you guys have any suggestions or how would you like me to move forward on that.
My suggestion is do what you think is best.
appropriate action. Vote was. Action. I would agree with.
I did reach out. Expressed my disappointment on how. Still not happy. Sales. Disappointed how they handled it, but not upset. You know.
I actually also have support, but being we're on the topic, I wasn't at the meeting, but I did the following day, and I felt that Ellie was well prepared and knowledgeable and well spoken, just as she always is. And I really was disappointed with the reaction at that meeting, and I.
Well said. Well, Ellie, do what you think.
All right, got it. Thank you guys for that, and I apologize. I jumped ahead. I just got that email this morning, so I wanted to make sure that you guys were aware it would be on that agenda. And then Jared mentioned the A&E RFQ, so we're excited to keep that moving forward, and we'll bring back recommendations when we get to that point. I'm happy to report Superfund site is really moving forward, and I will say it is at a very good pace. We're having about 3 to 4 meetings every month with the goal of having clearance on that by December 31st of 2026 and have some movement out there in the summer. So everybody's been following through, and it's been really good to see movement on that. Also, just so everybody knows, NDRPA conference is September 15th through the 17th in Dickinson. We have our public hearing and our board meeting that night, so we will be leaving the next day for that, but a lot of us will be attending that. We had no new nominations for Game Changer this month, so we'll push it out again for next month. I did want to say a big thank you to Callan for all his work on the audit. I know Mindy thanked me, but that should all go down to the end of the table here. I know Callan puts in a lot of work throughout all of the year to make sure that runs smoothly, but especially in those weeks of the audit, he does that on top of all of his other work. So thank you, Callan, for all your work on that. And congratulations to Bailey as well in her new role. And then just a true blanket statement. Thank you to all the staff, not just our department heads, for a great summer, but also all of our frontline staff. You know, from concessions to our umpires to scorekeepers, our event staff, missions at the zoo, lifeguards. You know, Shannon staff that's out there watering the flowers. Oftentimes, our community, our citizens, our visitors interact with them long before they interact with anybody from the admin staff or the front or the staff back here. So just thank you for all their work. I know there were some long, hot, challenging days. We've had great programming. We've had great events. And that's all thank you to you guys and your staff. So thank you for that. And that, excuse me, is all I have for my report.
Can I ask a question, Pavelli? Sorry. The Shields complex, the playground, big part of that was we've got funding from elsewhere, right? We've got
Yep.
grants.
Community Foundation, Minot Junior Golf, Garrison.
And now we're putting a fence around it too, right? That was a donation from a group.
Yes. Sunrise Rotary, so hopefully I can say that, but yes, they also donate funds for our fence, right? And that's all right. No, I think we're okay.
I'm sure there's a lot of people watching.
Yeah. Yes.
But the moral of the story is a lot of the stuff that we do is not on the back of the taxpayers. And this is a great example of it, correct? This is an awesome project that's going to get done that is not getting done with property tax increases, not done because of sales tax increase. This is something we budgeted, and then staff went out and got funding from all sorts of different places, including many donations, which is awesome to get this done.
Correct.
Cool. Thanks.
Yep.
And yeah. And over.
Nope, that's it.
All right, we'll move on to Commissioner Department Start.
I was out of town. And welcome. Well, I guess not. Just congratulations. And I just wanted to kind of echo Ellie had. I get so many compliments throughout the summer. I mean, throughout the year, on how well kept parks are and really extra care. So I think.
Covered in the commissioner's report. Past weekend, I took her on a vacation. Most humid place I've ever been in my life. You could imagine people are can't run at night, I guess. People are
A couple things. For everyone, I think it's great the representation that I think we have in the community. It should be commended. And it starts especially with you, Ellie. You're the most seen because of the position you're in. And I thank you for standing tall in times where it's not easy. And I know that that happened a couple weeks ago. You were treated in a way that someone was standing there. I'm pretty sure if it was from any of the other political subdivisions in our area, this group would not treat that person how you were treated. And I want that on the record. So thank you for what you do. I'm super excited as we get close to this budget. I'm super pumped that 58% of the people who voted said yes to a property tax break. And then this body has delivered more than what we said we were going to do. People voted for one thing, they're going to get more of it. And when they get their property tax statements, I hope they look at it. I hope they look at the breakdown, because they're going to see a huge drop in property tax for the Minot Park District. And because we listened to them, okay? We listened, we put the question out there, and they emphatically said it, 58%. And I contend there's going to be a bunch more when they get that, if they look at it, are going to go, this was a good decision. So appreciate that. Just everyone keep rolling with what we're doing. We deliver quality of life for those who want it. And we got to keep doing that. And I love it. Eric, the Hammond Park, putting the sidewalk in is great. We had it's a great example. We had a meeting of something that could be beneficial. That came up. It's done in time for when Hammond is obviously used during the summer, but it's going to be used much more now in these next 8 weeks for the high school season. So it's great to see that stuff done. So thanks for that, and thanks for what everyone does. And one totally different topic is I think we should set a meeting with Cole Talley, who organized this adult baseball. And yes, I may have played. He did a fabulous job. They had all sorts of people playing. I think there might be something there that Parks and Rec can help with, maybe even take over with his assistance. But I think we should try and get a meeting sooner rather than later with Cole and just see where that goes. I think it could grow and be good for the community. That'll be enough. Thanks.
One of the things that I kind of enjoy is that when nobody knows that I have any involvement with the park district, and then they talk about the park district, and that's happening today. I was at the golf tournament that was hosted yesterday at Cirrus. It was hosted today at Beowulf. Ran into a ton of parents, and we started talking about the Cirrus and they were just talking to me how great Cirrus was and how they were treated out there, and the course was. And they came to Beowulf going, and some of these Eastern people going, we never knew you had this out here. Well, if you passed Jamestown, maybe you would find out it was out here. But they were just talking up Cirrus Valley, unbelievable. And a couple weeks ago, I was at a 50th. Wasn't my 50th high school reunion. I'm getting close, but I was talking to people at a 50th high school reunion, and it was downtown at Citizens Alley, and they're talking about how nice the downtown area looked with the flowers and the vegetation and the plantation. They talked about throughout the city too. So, I like those conversations. So appreciate everything that you guys do in those areas there. I'm gonna go a little bit further about the what happened at the city council meeting. I know everybody said their piece. I kind of reiterate what Perry says, that we work well with other entities in the city, the county, the schools, the city. And I agree that if anybody came here and talked, I would never disparage that group or a person that was with that group. And I felt that our director went through that in that meeting. She was brought up to be lectured, not questioned. When you have your questions, that section there, you're supposed to be answering questions. It was not a question type of deal as being lectured at. I did reach out to a couple of council members, met with one. I got the responses that I figured I would from those individuals. Could have been handled a lot differently, a lot more politically correct. I think in my mind, it would have been handled here. The other thing that happened is that the public has every right to say what they want at these meetings. The city council, our meeting here, they can't, absolutely. But when you're at a city meeting and this nothing but park district things, it could have been, the city council could have stated some facts there that, hey, maybe you should go to the park district and talk about that. I brought up to one councilman that we met that if a person would come here and start complaining about the city's 33% property tax increase, I would listen, I would let them talk, but I'd also tell the individuals that you need to go talk to the city because that's where your concern is. I thought our director did a great job in handling that. And I just wanted it, as Perry would say, on the record, my discomfort how they handled that situation. So thank you for going through that, Ellie. That's it.
Finally got hot tots game. the week after, birthday, you may have there's a couple things about our director, about that meeting. Proud of the way Ellie. That's not easy. Stand up there and judgment. Put up with it. Also, I've supervised a couple people unsolicited, and Ellie presented at my group. He did a great job. All voted sales. I think great mayor and director, a lot of people. Thank you for that. We are in a position. So with that, we entertain
So moved.
question. Question.
Aye.
Okay, we'll go right to consent items. 2 approval minutes. Let's do that first. Second question.
Aye.
Bill. One bill. 2006.
I'll second.
Discussion. Paul?
Kirkhammer.
Yeah.
Hammer. Olson.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Updike. Nope, I don't have anything to add.
Other business.
I'd make a motion to do that one. Close it.
I second it.
You did. I didn't.
No, you're good.
Yeah. Motion close.